Hello everyone, welcome back to Geo 360. In this video, I am going to talk about how to clear university MBBS examinations in just 90 days. This video is purely for medicos. If you are not a medico, please do skip this video. It won't be useful to you in any way. Before entering into the video, please do subscribe our channel and enable the bell icon next to it to get updates of further videos. So now let's enter into the video. In this video, I'll be mainly explaining about how to crack second year university examinations easily in 90 days with understanding the concepts and not just with mugging up. Second year is the most crucial period in MBBS life because second year forms the basic of your final year subjects as well as your third year subjects, because the pathology which you study will form the basic of the medicine, and pharmacology, without knowing pharmacology you don't know the treatment, as the pharmacology deals mainly with the drugs. So second year is the most crucial period. So while you are preparing for your university examinations, you must also be preparing concept wise also thoroughly. So I'll clearly explain the plan for how to go with it. Out of the four subjects of pathology, pharmacology, microbiology, and forensic medicine, the most weightage which you must give is to pathology, followed by pharmacology, then microbiology, and then at last forensic medicine. It doesn't mean that I am discriminating the four subjects. I am categorizing it based on how important these subjects will be in your future while you practice clinically and for your entrance exam as well as for your university exam and in all the aspects. So first important thing is that you must give more importance to pathology, as it will take more time compared to all the other subjects. My suggestion is that to start with pathology in the first month, start studying for minimum 6 hours per day. Maximum number of study hours you spend each day depends on your situation. So but minimum 6 hours you must spend each day, so that it will be very easy and you will understand the concepts also better. Spending less than 6 hours won't be much effective. Spending quality time in studying is more important than the quantity of time you spend in studying. There is no use in studying 14 to 16 hours per day and then realizing by the end of the day that you finished only 10 pages in those 16 hours. So even if you study for 6 hours per day, try to finish maximum number of content by understanding the concept and by remembering them. Recall the things which you study before you go to sleep and in the early morning when you wake up, because recalling will get the contents into your secondary memory so that you won't forget it easily and it will last in your memory for a very long time. Recalling is very much important. When you sleep, just for half an hour, just think about whatever you studied and recall the concepts. Okay, that will be very much useful for you. So for pathology, Robbins is the standard book. I suggest to go with Robbins. Don't go for any other book, because Robbins is the standard book and all the concepts are clearly explained. It's the godfather of pathology. Though Robbins is hard, it's not as hard as you think when you look it from outside. When you start studying for some days, you will get into love with the concepts and it will be very much interesting. Pathology is an interesting subject. When you start studying, it will be very much interesting, but when you look from the outside, the book size and the content, very small content, and the mechanism will be very much confusing and you will just cry before entering into the subject. But once you get into it, it's a very much interesting subject. So go with Robbins. Robbins is the standard book both for your entrance, for concepts, and for university wise. Robbins is the best book. Don't go with any other book. That's my suggestion. One more important thing is that don't spend more than 5 to 10 minutes in a single page. Just grasp the main content in the text which is given in each page. If you don't understand any concept, there will be diagrammatic explanation in Robbins itself for all the important concepts, so you can refer the diagram and make notes from it and get the important catchy things. Don't waste time in reading the text. If you don't understand it, it will be very much vague. Based on the diagrams which is given in the book itself, you can grasp the content. So go with the diagrams. Diagrammatically remembering will also make you remember the thing for a long time. Even if you can't understand from the diagrams also, you can refer the YouTube videos. For every concept there is a YouTube video. Just go with YouTube videos which is very short. Get the concept, make some sticky notes and stick in that respective page, so that once again when you study you can just see the sticky notes, which will be very much useful for you and save a lot of time. So what I'm coming to say is that don't stay in a page for a long time, it will be boring, and after 1 hour you will realize, oh my god, you just finished only one page in the whole hour. Don't do like that. It is the major mistake which most of the second year students do. So read as fast as possible. I don't mean that you have to just turn the pages. Get the content into your mind. Don't just be mugging up things in each page. You go concept wise, that will be very much useful in the long run, both in university wise and for your entrance and your clinical knowledge also. That is the way you must study second year. The reason why I said you must start with pathology is that pathology is the vast subject in second year. Once you finish that, you will get a sense of satisfaction, and you will also get a confidence that you can easily clear second year. And rest of the things are very much easy only. I'll tell further in the video how to go with the other three subjects. And pathology is the main burden also. It forms almost 40%, 40 to 50% of the content of second year is over when you finish pathology thoroughly. So pathology is a vast subject. So my suggestion, as I said earlier, start with pathology in the first month. That will be a good choice in the 90 days plan. So in pathology, first start with general pathology, because when you complete general pathology, the systemic pathology will be very much easy. For general pathology, when you come to general pathology, first two chapters, the cell as a unit of health and disease and cellular responses to stress and toxic results of it, you just spend just 2 days for this. In those 2 days, in the first chapter, there won't be anything much important university exam wise. Second chapter has some important questions. Mark the important questions before entering into the subject. Don't waste much time in just marking the questions. Ask some of your friends who have already marked, or go with some apps which have all the question banks. Mark the questions. Give more importance to the questions which have been already asked. Don't skip the other contents also. Just give a reading of the whole book. Don't skip anything in the book. Read everything and give more importance to the asked questions. Mark the 4 marks and the 10 marks. Give more importance to that. And first 2 days after you finish the first two chapters, then in the next 2 days you do inflammation and repair. That is the third chapter. It's a very important chapter and it has a lot of concepts in it. And on the fifth day you can go with hemodynamic disorders. It's actually a very easy chapter, so you can finish it in 1 day. After that, the next day you go with genetic disorders. Genetic disorders will be very much boring actually. So there will be something, there will be a lot of things to mug up in this chapter. The Turner syndrome and Marfan syndrome, I think something syndromes and all will come. Klinefelter syndrome, all those syndromes will come, and some more. It's like a mugging up chapter. So if you don't understand in this chapter anything, just go search the YouTube. You'll get many videos. Or if you have subscribed any app like eGurukul, Marrow, you can also search and study in that. I think most of the students won't have all those things, so you can go with the YouTube, or you can just discuss with your friends and study. So it will be easy if you do like that and finish it in 1 day. Next in line, disease of the immune system. When actually this topic will be repeating in microbiology also. So my suggestion is that you have to study this chapter thoroughly in pathology itself, so that you can skip the chapter or just you can skim the pages in microbiology. So spend 2 days of quality time in the disease of the immune system chapter and finish it off. Neoplasia, the heart of pathology. This chapter is very, very important. When you are thorough with neoplasia, the systemic pathology will be very much easy for you. So spend 3 days time, understand the concepts. The concepts will be very hard for the first time when you look into it, but it's a very interesting chapter. Don't go very much deep into the random text which is given in the book. Just grasp the concepts, discuss with your friends, and then study this chapter. Refer the YouTube videos as I mentioned earlier. And then last 3 chapters in general pathology: infectious diseases, environment and nutritional diseases, diseases of infancy and childhood. These chapters you will get minimum number of questions when you come to the university point of view. Normally that will be the pattern. If the luck is bad, you might also get a 10 mark in this chapter, but it won't happen. Most probably 99% it won't happen. So just mark the important questions in these 3 chapters and study those questions alone. I think you can finish these last 3 chapters of general pathology in 1 day. It won't be a big deal. So in first 12 days you can easily finish the general pathology. Once you finish general pathology, the rest of the thing will be very much easier for you. And when you come to systemic pathology, the very much hard thing is that the diseases of RBC and WBC. That is the 13th and 14th chapter in Robbins' book. Those chapter, it is very hard, very dry. You have to remember a lot of gene names, mutations, and all those things will come there. After finishing the general pathology, you come with the chapter 13 and 14, that is the disease of WBC and then the disease of RBC. You just take 2 days to complete these two chapters, mark the important questions, and just read all those things alone. If you have thorough the physiology of the WBC and RBC, how the RBC and WBC are formed, this chapter will be a little bit easy for you. Actually, this chapter, if you study slowly, you can study for 1 week or 2 weeks also, but there is no point in studying for 1 or 2 weeks. Anyway, you will forget it if you study for 1 week or 2 weeks also. Main thing is that you just try to study in 1 day each chapter, 1 day for WBC, 1 day for RBC, and try to recall it again and again when you find free time in the first 1 month. That recalling will only make you remember all the content given in these two chapters. Try to spend at least like 10 to 12 hours per day when you study these two chapters, then only you can finish it in 2 days. And then after that, blood vessels and heart, it will be very much interesting. There won't be much thing to mug up like RBC and WBC chapters in blood vessels and the heart chapters. These 11 and 12 chapters will be very much interesting. You can finish it in 2 days. You understand the concepts and some important questions will be there. It will be coming as 10 mark also from these two chapters: atherosclerosis, myocardial infarction, the mechanism, the clinical evaluation. All those things are very much important. So you can easily finish these chapters in 2 days. So then when you come to the second volume, it will take around 2 days to finish lungs and the head and neck, and GIT, gastrointestinal tract, and the diseases, it will take another 2 days, and liver, gallbladder, and pancreas, it will take 2 days. Plan accordingly. And kidney chapter you can finish in 2 days, and the urinary tract, male genital system, and female genital tract, and the breast. These three chapters together you have to finish in 2 days. And endocrine system and the skin, you will take 2 days, and rest of the chapters below that you can take around 2 days. So totally in the systemic pathology, it will take totally around 15 days. So in 1 month you can easily finish general pathology and systemic pathology. So most of the burden will be resolved in 1 month, and in the next 2 months you can purely allocate for pharmacology, microbiology, and forensic medicine. Okay, that's all for pathology. Next I'll speak about pharmacology and how to proceed with pharmacology in an easier way. So when you come to pharmacology, pharmacology is also a basic subject for your medicine. Without knowing pharmacology, you can't study medicine. The most important thing in pharmacology is to study the classification of the drugs. Though in practice we only use 1/10th of the drugs which we study, it is very much important to study all the classification of all the drugs from the exams point of view. So how to proceed with pharmacology in attending the exams is that first of all you must know the classification of the drugs. I don't recommend you to study the classification of the drugs at a stretch. Initially when you start studying pathology, each day try to study one classification. So in 30 days you will be covering 30 classifications of the drugs when you study pathology. So when you purely start with pharmacology, it will be like you will be revising the classification which you have already studied. So it will be very much easy, because mugging up all the drugs in 1 day won't be easy. So when you study it purely itself while studying pathology, it will be very easy when you start pharmacology with the drugs. The hard thing is that when you freshly start with the classification with pharmacology, it will be very hard, and all will be like Sanskrit and Latin. So it's very much important to study the classification of the drugs purely itself while studying pathology. So when you come to pharmacology, once you finish the classification of the drug, you just know the mechanism of action of all those drugs in the classification in the respective chapters, and then after knowing the mechanism of action, go with the uses of the drug. And after finishing the uses of the drug, you have to know the classification. When you come to the adverse drug reaction, you don't need to study all the adverse drug reaction for most of the drugs, or if you don't know the adverse drug reactions for any of the classification of the drugs, you just write with nausea, vomiting, headache, dizziness, and all those things. There are some specific ADR for certain drugs. Know those specific ADR, as those will be the key points for those specific classification and the drugs. For example, for anticoagulants, the ADR will be bleeding. For beta blockers, it will be bradycardia. For nitrates, headache. for like that for all the drugs there will be different ADR. For atropine, when you see dryness of mouth is a ADR. So all those specific drugs, you have to know the specific adverse drug reactions. And one more thing is that after knowing the adverse drug reaction, there will be contraindications for certain drugs. That is, these kind of drugs won't be used in these kind of situations. For example, phenytoin, when we give in pregnancy, it leads to tetragenicity, so it will be the contraindications. Those specific things you need to know. From the exam's point of view, the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics of the drug which will be given in the book is not that much important when you come to the UG exam's point of view. So I don't recommend you to study the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics, because anyway you won't understand it clearly at this stage. Just know the route of administration of the drug, that will be very much essential for you. And this is the pattern in which you must also present the answers in the university examinations. This will be very much easy. So the important thing here is that you must mug. So the important thing here is that you must be able to mug up all the classification. So you just, as I mentioned earlier, just study the classification clearly. Just spend half an hour each day during the night time and just keep recalling the classification of the drug. So when you come to pharmacology, it won't be that much hectic for you. It will be very much easy. So what is the textbook which you must follow for pharmacology is that actually KD Tripathi is the standard book, but if you have to finish in a short period of time, I won't recommend KD Tripathi, as it's a very vast book and lot of content which is very vague will be given. That's not very much important for your university exam point of view. You can go with Tara Shenbach. In that, all the things will be given crisply. That book is itself, it's very much enough. It's like almost like Sembulingam for physiology. Tara Shenbach is for pharmacology. So better start from the beginning. First, you spend one day for the general pharmacological principles, and that chapter is not very much important. Just know what is in that, and the important questions which are repeated you just know. But for the practical point of view, the chapter is important. For theory exams, the chapter is not that much important, but just know what is in that and the important repeated questions, you go through it. Just one day you spend for that. And then the autonomic nervous system, it's a very very important chapter and you must study it in the beginning itself. So just spend 3 solid days for this chapter. You try to finish it in 2 days, and the last day you just revise it again, as it is a very important chapter. Know all the classification, don't skip anything in that chapter, and spend 2 days in the orthocoids and respiratory system. This chapter will also be a basic for the further system-wise classification of drugs and knowing about them in CNS and CVS pharmacology. So first you know ANS and then orthocoids. That's the basic chapters. So next in line you go with either central nervous system or cardiovascular system and the kidney. My suggestion for you is that you go with cardiovascular system and the related drugs. Spend 3 days for CVS and the kidney related drugs. So you try to finish in 2 or 2.5 days, and in next half a day you keep revising what you studied. For CNS you spend 4 days. Don't think 4 days will be very long. It's actually very much essential. 4 days is actually a very short period. Though you can finish it in 2 days if you try hard, you have to revise it again and again. So spend 4 days for it. And then next you go with GIT. 1 day is enough. GIT and related drugs, 1 day you spend for it. Blood and related drugs. Last you come to hormones and related drugs. It's a very very important chapter in second paper, I think. So spend 3 days for that. 3 days will be enough, I guess. You have to revise it again and again, because in that lot of mechanism action will be there. It will be very much confusing. All the mechanism of action you will get confused, so you have to revise again and again. And at last you come to antimicrobials and the related drugs. Spend 3 days for that. Once you know the classification for the antimicrobials, anti-tubercular, anti-leprotic, antiviral, antifungal drugs, the mechanism of action and all those things will be very easy. So you spend 3 days, just revise the classification, recall it again and again, and you can easily clear that antimicrobial chapter. After that, spend 1 day for chemotherapy and the miscellaneous drugs. 1 day is enough. Just know the important questions alone in those chapters. That will be very much enough. So in a span of 22 days you will be able to finish pharmacology and all the drugs in pharmacology. So this is once you finish pathology and pharmacology, almost 70% of the burden is over, just 30% of the game is just remaining. After that you have to come with microbiology. So now when you come to micro is not as important as pathology or pharmacology, both for your clinical point of view and for your final year exam basics. But you have to study microbiology to clear the university examinations, and it will also be very much useful to solve the MCQs in the NEET or the next examinations. The books which are standard for microbiology are Apurva and Panikkar. Apurva is a better choice than Panikkar according to me. When you come to microbiology, the content in the book is very vast. Definitely you can't remember everything. So for micro, mark the important questions and then start your preparation. I don't recommend to have a glance at everything in the book as I said for pathology, because micro is very dry. You need to only read the important questions and just make some way to clear the examinations. So for microbiology, from the preparation point of view, general microbiology, as I said earlier, just mark the important questions and then read those questions only, the 10 marks, the 2 marks, like that you study. You don't need to remember everything and study everything, because it won't be that much useful until and unless you take MD microbiology. So you just study the important questions alone in general microbiology. Immunology, as I said earlier, it will be the same as what that you have studied in pathology. So one day is enough. Everything will be the same. You can refer both the books and study, and some additional things will be there. Those basic things like what is an antigen, what are haptens, what are immunoglobulins, what is the structure of immunoglobulin, hypersensitivity reactions, all those things, most of the things you would have covered in your 12th grade itself, and the extra things you would have already covered in your pathology during your preparation. So almost one day is enough for that. So in 3 days you will be completing general biology and immunology. For bacteriology, you have to spend at least 4 days. Solid 4 days must be spent for bacteriology. Here also you just read only the important questions. Don't read everything. Underline the key points and remember only those things. Even if you study everything, you won't remember anything. So just stick with the key points. Remember those key points only and highlight those points. So when you revise, it will be very much easy for you, and you don't have a headache when you revise again by studying everything. So you go like that. For virology, it's very much easier than bacteriology. Bacteriology is the hectic part in microbiology. So virology, just 3 days is enough. 3 days is more than enough. You try to finish it in 2 days, and one day you have for revision. Mycology, that is fungi and all those things, 2 days you have for the preparation. In one day you can actually finish mycology, but another 1 or half a day you have for revising what you have studied. Parasitology, try to spend 3 days for it. Parasitology, it's a bit vast and vague, but you go with the important questions alone. First you study the classification of the parasites, then it will be very much easy. Try to finish it in 2 days, and the last day you have for revising the parasitology. So that's all from the microbiology point of view. Next, when you come to forensic medicine, to be frank, you don't need to spend quality specific time for studying forensic medicine. It's just like a story, it's almost like EVS subject which in your school grade. So try to read forensic medicine actually when you're bored with your pathology, pharmacology and microbiology in between. It's just like a story. You just need to know what is in the book, what is the story, or hear stories from your seniors or your friends and then try to know what is in the book. That's more than enough. So maximum 4 days you spend for forensic medicine. If you are very much eager, you just spend maximum 4 days. Otherwise, it's well and good to read forensic medicine in between when you're bored, or like before you go to sleep, or like when you're studying. If you're feeling very much sleepy, you just turn 2 or 3 pages of forensic medicine, get something into your mind, and just go to sleep. That's the way to approach forensic medicine. That's not much important, but forensic medicine is very much important for thriving as a doctor in the society, as it will teach you how to behave as a doctor, what are the rights and what the doctor must do, what is the duty of the doctor and the patient, all those things it will be dealt in forensic medicine. So try to learn all those things. Don't read it, just learn what is in the book from your seniors and from your friends. Discuss and study forensic medicine. That's all with forensic medicine. The plan which I told now will be a very good plan, but it will be very much boring if you go subject wise. So try to mix it up. The schedule for which I will be telling now, the 90-day study plan is that first, for example, you are starting on the first day of the 90 days. For example, your exam is in April, starting in April, you are starting on January 1. Start your preparation with general pathology. So as I mentioned earlier, spend 12 days for general pathology, and then you switch to microbiology for the next 3 days. General and microbiology will take 3 days, and then you can again come back to pathology, finish RBC, WBC, heart and blood vessels in 5 days, and then you go with microbiology again, finish mycology, that is the fungi related stuff, in 2 days. And after that you go for the rest of the systemic pathology. It will take around 14 to 15 days, which I mentioned earlier in this video. After that you go with virology. It will take around 3 days. The advantage of doing like this, mixing up subjects, is that you won't get bored with one subject, and you will also be able to remember everything. For example, if you are studying pathology for 1 month, and after studying pharmacology for another 20 days, and after doing microbiology in another 10 days, finally you will feel like you don't remember anything in pathology. So try to mix the subjects and study. That will be a very good plan. After finishing virology, you then switch to pharmacology. By the this 40 days, you will be finishing by February 15. Like that, you will be finishing most of the, I mean, everything of the pathology and some parts of the microbiology. And then after that, you go with pharmacology. Start with general pharmacology, ANS, autocoids, and RS. Finish that in another 6 days. After that, you do bacteriology. Spend only 1 day for bacteriology, because bacteriology you can't study at a stretch for 4 days. As I mentioned earlier, the duration you must spend for bacteriology is 4 days, but don't spend at a stretch 4 days, because everything will be like confusing. So study for 1 day bacteriology, and then switch to pharmacology, do CVS and renal for the next 3 days. In the meanwhile, in those 3 days of pharmacology, just try to recall what you studied in bacteriology. After that, you go to microbiology, where you will study the rest of the bacteriology in another 1 day. And after that, you go for CNS and again bacteriology, and then blood, GIT, and hormones of pharmacology for 5 days, and then come to bacteriology. So bacteriology thoroughly. Bacteriology is very much boring, so try to mix it up with pharmacology. So it will be very much in a good way to approach this. At last, in pharmacology, you do antimicrobials and chemotherapy in 4 days, and finally you do parasitology for 3 days at the end. Have parasitology at the end for 3 days. So this will take around 68 to 69 days. If you have 1 or 2 cheat days in between, so totally in 70 days you will be covering all the 4 subjects. As I said earlier, forensic medicine you read in between when you are very bored. So in 70 days itself you will be able to finish all the 4 subjects thoroughly. And the next 20 days in the 90-day study plan, that is in the month of March, from March 10 to March 30, you will be having for revision. Purely you have to revise everything, otherwise you can't actually do anything in the exam. It's a very volatile and dry subjects in second year, so try to revise in the last 20 days. Mostly your first exam will be pharmacology, so you just start with pathology. For first 7 days you just revise pathology. After that, for the next 5 days you revise microbiology. After that, for the next 2 days you just go through FM. It's your wish. Otherwise, you can in the next 2 days also you can go through the microbiology and pharmacology which you have left out and which you find hard, and try to mix up FM in those period, in the first 14 days of the revision period of pathology and microbiology. In the last 6 days you have purely for pharmacology, because your first exam will be pharmacology obviously. The last 6 days of the 90 days, first 3 days you spend for the second paper of pharmacology in revision, and the last 3 days you spend for the revision of the first paper stuff of the pharmacology. So you will be approaching the exam with a cool mind by studying everything twice before you start your actual exam preparation. Anyway, in between the exam you will be having at least 1 or 2 days minimum of leave, so you can revise at that time one more time. So before entering into the exam hall, you would have covered all the subjects by reading it 3 times. That will be a very good approach, and you will be able to answer majority of the questions without any flaws. This was the content I was about to tell you today. Hope it will be very much useful for you in the second year MBBS. Like, share and subscribe our channel and share this video to maximum number of needed people of this video, and subscribe our channel for further notifications of the videos. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you and signing off till then from Geo 360.